Hey Messy family,
welcome back to the channel. Now today we're doing a story time review from a creator on TikTok. In this review, she's talking about how she ended up going to prison because her husband cheated on her. Messy family, stick around to the end because it is a lot to discuss in this story time.
My husband cheated on me and it landed me in jail. Disclosure, I'm from Baltimore, so watch your mouth in the comments, but I'm fine with any criticism, for real, I'm playing. So, my husband decided after 16 years and 3 children and 8 years of marriage that he was going to cheat. Me and him had tumultuous arguments from time to time. I'm from Baltimore. Once again, I have a very slick mouth. If and when we got in an argument, call him out his name, things of that nature. So which supposedly he got fed up and wanted to leave. Rather than just leaving, he decided he was going to cheat as well. On April the 26th, I watched my husband make his way home on on location, and I saw him smoke a cigarette. Someone across the street from me, there's an assistant living home, asked him to help him get some old person out the car. A couple minutes later, he's chatting with some woman. I don't think nothing of it. My husband is a fucking chatter. He run his fucking mouth with everybody all the time. It irritates my soul. But in the time we've been together, noteworthy, there is a 14-year age difference between us. In the time we've been together, infidelity was never a problem, okay? Never felt the need to worry about what you doing, where you at, and all this other stuff, and things like that that may have come up weren't really anything. At least that's what I think. Anyway, so this particular day, he not only goes and talks to this random woman across the street, but he's talking to her across the street from my house for what is over an hour, almost an hour and a half. I somewhere in there start texting him like, what the fuck are you doing? Bring your ass in the house. More specifically because I was having an incident with our other child at the time. Again, we had 3 children together. All of my children are by him. Well, turns out my inclination was right. That day, he came in the house all apologetic. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this is. He like, oh, I told you about her before. We met a long time ago. Bop, bop, bop. She into the crystals like we are. Fuck out of here. Some woman, any woman, you talking about, I ain't never heard of this bitch. This is bullshit. That's how I felt. I goes off. He apologizes. A couple days go by. He has some situation going on family-wise where he's like back and forth down at his family's house in between us going back and forth. Him going back and forth to work. So, what happens is one particular day, I decide to pull up location to see where he at. I watch him come home, past the house, and go down the street from my house. I'm like, where the fuck you at? He's so close to home, it's saying he's home. Anybody who know how Apple location work, if you're close enough, it will say you were home. So I think nothing of it. I think I calls him, and he doesn't answer, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this is a couple days after this meeting of the girl, but he Amazon flexes, so he literally is gone in the evenings, like any point in time, depending on how far they send him from home. I ain't think nothing of it. Again, we already was having our little communication issues, but that was the thick of it. I haven't been working for a couple months. This is the first time in a relationship he's ever been a sole provider. I just lost my vehicle, so on and so forth. Well, turns out he was seeing this woman, had just started seeing this woman that I had caught it right then and there when they met, and I caught it when he was going to go see her. So several days go by of me watching him go back and forth to this woman's house. I decide to look in his phone, and lo and behold, I see conversation that made my heart drop and my face and body hot. Okay, to say the least. I contacted him. I contacted her. Made him make his way home when I was clear I was about to make my way down to where the fuck he was at. Beat the dog shit out of him as best I could. This motherfucker decides not only is he, yes, cheating, he came in the door screaming, I ain't fuck her. That was the first thing he yelled. I ain't fuck her. To me, it don't matter if you fucked her because emotional cheating is worse enough. And you told her you loved her in those texts. Okay? Couple days and then knowing some random bitch and you love her. So, here's where it gets interesting. I lose my shit. We have a whole blow up that night. And he actually picks up his shit, leaves, and says he's leaving me and my kids. Yep. Left me and my kids for, think about 5 days. Now, the first day that he leaves, I act cool. But I act out to where, unbeknownst to myself, a warrant was taken out for my arrest. The next day, I approach this woman. An incident takes place. And again, charges are filed. So he texts her the day that I had the incident with her. And, she texts him and says, I'm on my way over there. He like, okay, be careful. Yeah, be careful, baby. And surely enough, maybe 2 minutes after, I approached her. Now, whatever supposedly allegedly happened, I'm not going to talk about again. I'm just going to say I have charges filed against me. Fast forward a couple days. In between those days, we're actually talking. Somewhere in there, I don't know, we on the phone, my daughter crying on. We have a young special needs child. And yeah, he left me and our special needs child. At some point, he says, I'm on my way over there. Long story short, he comes back. Kind of jumping around. A couple days after that, as he comes home, I'm like, you need to block her, delete her number, and all that other stuff. And I need to see your location. This motherfucker tells me no. He says he's still going to check on her. As you can imagine, those first couple days, week or so after, was a lot of where you at, what you doing, watching him and stuff like that. And because I could still see where he was despite him not sharing his location. I went to school for tech. Anyway, the situation got out of hand when he was still contacting her since when he had came back home. So I approached him about this. Somewhere in there, he decides that he is actually going to stop talking to her. And he does stop talking to her. Maybe 5-6 days after coming home. Her child randomly fucking FaceTime him. And at that point, then he hands me the phone and allows me to block them and delete their numbers. As far as the location, he was still on the fence about, all the way up until I went out with my cousin one night, ain't answer the phone, and then all of a sudden, you want to share your location again. Yeah, I bet you do, motherfucker. So, fast forward to going to court the first time for the first situation. I decided I want a jury trial. Nah, bitch, we ain't finna let that shit. They gave you the option of mediation. You want to see me so bad. You so mad that he told you he was coming back and he ain't coming back or whatever the case. Like, at the end of the day, in my head, I'm like, he do still got one foot out the door. In my head, I'm like, yeah, you a placeholder too, ho. Anyway, we go to court the first time. It's not taken care of. I go to court the second time. And I go ahead and I decide to take, the charges or whatever and deal with it in the way I did. And then 40 seconds after I sign my paperwork, they literally are telling me, oh yeah, you got an active warrant that was taken out on you from the day before the incident that I was there for. Excuse me, I've had a warrant open for 2.5 months and you telling me that I've been in and out of the courthouse, in and out of the commissioner's office, because I tried to file a restraining order against her because when we came out of court on June the 17th, she tried to get all knuck and buck outside the courthouse like she don't know where I live. But anyway, I sat there in complete disbelief and awe. Because I realized, like, in that moment, I'm going to jail. I'm actually going to jail. I have never been arrested my whole adult life and sent to jail, to bookings, to central bookings or whatever, anything like that. So I was sitting there looking cute, pretty in my little dress that day. And they're like, you're going to jail, ma'am. You're going to jail. I'm going to have to make this into a second part because the second part is really going to be the whole jail story and just where I'm at now. But since this whole situation is taking place, as you can imagine, it's been like a whole thing. Like, he wants me to forget it. He wants us to move past it. But like, how the fuck can I move past some shit and I gotta go to court? Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna come back for part 2.
I done heard some pretty crazy marriage stories, but this gotta be the wildest. I feel like she's super calm. I feel like she was getting her get back. It's no way, bro. She too calm to have a mouth like that. I don't think she letting shit like that slide.
Not at all. How can you cheat on somebody after so many years together? Why even wait so long?
Let's be real though. You could tell, she says she got a slick mouth and she talk crazy. I hate to be the one to make an excuse for the guy that's cheating, but you gotta understand, it gets to a point where that becomes too much. And then you got so much invested with this person that it's hard to leave them. Maybe it is hard to leave them financially and you just feel trapped with this person. I'm not saying 100% agree with him. If you talking to me like that, bro, I'ma feel away. If you talking about some mother effer this and it's just how you talk, I don't like it.
If you're gonna cheat and then leave the house, like you said, he end up leaving anyway. They just have so much going on. So they got a special needs child.
Right. So why you talking to that man like that, though? That's my thing. He eventually ended up cheating, but before he was cheating, you be talking crazy. Are you talking to this man? What the F you doing outside? Get in here. We got something going on. Who you talking to?
If I saw my man across the street talking to a woman for an hour and a half, I would have the same
But she said that that's in his personality. He's a chatty person.
hour and a half?
Clearly she wasn't threatened by the woman. She let him stay over there for an hour and a half.
This is part 2 of my husband cheated on me and I went to jail for it. So, the last part, I'm going to just give a synopsis of it. Of course, I found out my husband cheated. I approached the woman and she filed charges against me several times. One case I did not know about. When I went to court for one case, I found out I had an open warrant for another case. And I was told when I finished signing my paperwork. So, apparently, I found out after the fact that when I got called up to the bench, that the sheriff that was in the courtroom the entire time looking at me and I'm looking at them and not paying no attention was there for me, yo, waiting for my case to be called so that they could lock me up. So when I went out up to the front bench with my lawyer, they called my husband out in the hallway and he's like, what the fuck y'all calling me for? And apparently they told him at that point, like, she's not coming home. So he was like already aware. But I had no reason to like look back, and of course he couldn't like yell out, they're gonna lock you up, run, or some shit, right? So they tell me I'm going to jail, and then tell me I have open warrant, and then tell me put my little hands behind my back and my little dress. I have my cute little dress on. I'm gonna have to insert a picture of this dress later on. Well, I look back at my husband, and he just got this look on his face like he was just so mad, and I'm just like, okay. So they take me from the courtroom to the basement or whatever the fuck of the courthouse, and they go down there, and I'm just still like, now mind you, full disclosure, I was crying prior to that because I was so emotionally irritated at the thought of hearing the statement of charges, mainly because this bitch said in the statement of charges that I was his ex-wife and she was his girlfriend. Baby, you've known him like 4 days. What the fuck was wrong with both of you? I'm still trying to figure out. In addition to, ain't no papers down, case of Maryland case. You just slow. Anyway. So I was irritated from hearing that. But them tears dried the fuck up when they told me I was going to jail. I was just like, this is crazy. So in my head, all I know is that when you get locked up, you go see a commissioner and you go get bail, right? And then there's like, I guess, different situations where you're actually like locked up because, and you have to see a judge. So I get downstairs. I have to wait for them to take me to central booking, and I'm in this like little cell by myself, and I'm like, I'm not sitting down. I stood up the whole time looking out the door. I'm in like this dark hallway where like the damn COs are eating lunch. The shit was just the dumbest shit ever. Again, reading the dumb shit on the wall. Apparently somebody named Ham from Northern Fulton is a red. It just was just the craziest shit that's just written on the wall. So I'm just reading the shit, and eventually they come. Eventually I call them and I'm like, oh, y'all take me central booking. I need my inhaler. They like, all right. So they literally were like, oh, we about to take you, but now we have to take you back in the cell and wait for your husband to bring the inhaler. He brought it, like he says, within an hour. They did not take me for hours. I was in the jail cell in the courthouse for like 5 hours. Easy. In this little ass room with this dirty ass, whatever. Anyway. And I'm in there with my little cute dress on. Anyway. I go ahead and get taken from the courthouse jail to the central booking to be booked and processed, right? Again, I don't know anything. I've never got caught. I've never been locked up. So I'm just sitting there like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Lo and behold, we get to central booking and they said, oh, the nurse isn't seeing anyone else. You have to wait till the next nurse come. And that bitch ain't coming for another hour and a half, basically. Excuse me, it's 3:00. So I'm sitting in the fucking paddy wagon, the sheriff paddy wagon. They had the air on for me. Everyone was so nice. Now, I will mention that. No one was like nasty and mean to me. I was still tripping the whole time. Like, this is crazy. This is all because this bitch bad because he ain't come back. He cut off all contact. I'm like, oh my God. You would think at this point she would want to save face. But again, you know, it is what it is. So, I'm sitting up there waiting for them to finally take me in. They take me in. And if you've been locked up, then you know the COs are like little characters. I swear they are. So they clowning me. We clowning the whole situation. I'm tripping. I'm like, man, if I knew it was all going to be this, I'd have beat the bitch to death. I'd have made it perfect, right? I didn't even put my hands on him. Anyway, and let this be a lesson to people. Police bitches is not to be fucked with, because they the ones that they want to, you know, they ain't gonna give what they want. They lonely, sorrowful, miserable, lonely motherfuckers. So yeah, they gonna do whatever and keep it going or whatever, because they gave her the option of mediation and she said no, because yeah, she don't want to see my face. You don't want to sit down and see my face, boo-boo. I'm sure you don't, you fucking troll goat face ass bitch. But anyway, the crazy part about it all is when I got the central booking, it still didn't register to me like I'm in jail. Because I'm just thinking, I'm going to see the commissioner. It's a fucking Friday at that. So I'm just sitting up there like, I need to see this commissioner. Y'all need to get this process going. I need to see this commissioner while the commissioner's still there. And me not knowing how it works. As soon as I get there, I talk to the sheriff. I'm like, you know, the judge told me I'd probably go home today. The CO overheard me and the sheriff. I'm like, oh no, you're not going home today. You got to sit for at least 24 hours, bitch. Did you just tell me I gotta sit in jail for 24 hours? I ain't never been in jail. Anyway, but again, I ain't no whore. So, it, you know, really didn't shake me up. I was just like in disbelief. Then, this is the kicker. The way I came from to the jail was I was served on a warrant from one court at another court. And because of that, somebody got their wires crossed and assumed that I was supposed to sit in there until I saw a judge, which wouldn't have been until Monday morning. They tell me this. I don't lose it physically. I lose it internally. I'm just like, so you telling me I went to court thinking, okay, I'm trying to get this shit done with, gonna take whatever come from it, blah, blah, blah. I know how this shit go. And I wind up not only in jail, but in jail for the weekend? What the fuck just happened? Anyway, so it's hours go by. I'm literally still there. And again, the CEOs are pretty cool. I ain't gonna say what they did and didn't let me do, but they pretty cool. I'm on the phone and stuff. And somewhere in there, someone looks at my paperwork and realizes that I'm whatever is called not direct, which direct mean I would have had to see a judge. I was regular, just need to see the commissioner 2 times, and then I can go ahead and see if they give me bail and go home. Well, that took some time. That wasn't going to be no time soon. By the time I find out that, it's hours later. And then by the time I see the commissioner for the first time, like, I'm already, like, tucked up in the cell with my little cellies. So there's, like, a tweaker. And then there's someone else who she's never been locked up. This bitch said she put her hand on her husband. That nigga called the police and she went directly to jail. Crazy shit. And then someone that was just balled up. So, you know, it wasn't their first time. They was like, shit, I'm just trying to get from point A to point B. And someone else who was waiting to go upstairs. So they had already told me, like, even if I was to go upstairs, I was going to stay in the cells downstairs. And because there weren't any beds. So I, you know, was pretty much to get used to where I was at, right? Cool. They ain't make me change my clothes because I ain't have to. If I was staying, I would have to change my clothes. But I did eventually. Was like, can I get some pants? Because it's cold in. I told you I had on a dress. The dress wasn't even to my knees. And if you've never been locked up, particularly central booking, if you look up at the vents, there's these 2 giant vents in most of the cells. And there's wads of toilet paper all up on him because it's cold as shit and like there's nothing you can do about it. So they just tried to block the vent as best they could. But baby, when I went to go see the commissioner the first time, so finally they called me. They like, oh, you go see the commissioner, go to see the commissioners. And the first time, they don't really tell you nothing. So do you want a public defender go see the commissioner the second time for when they set your bail? I'm like, all right, cool. That room, dumb, stupid, fucking cold. Dumb, stupid, fucking cold. Piss me off. Like, piss me off. They take me to the commissioner and then take me back to my cell. It felt like summer in that bitch. Like, no joke. It felt like summer. I'm gonna probably hit to cut this into the next part or whatever like that. Cause really, it was funny, but it wasn't funny. I'm gonna wrap this up. This is part 3 of my husband cheated on me and I went to jail for it. So I go to see the commissioner in the last video at the end, the first time. So you go see the commissioner 2 times. The first commissioner just like make sure they got all your information, ask you if you want a public defender that's going to represent you for you going to go see the commissioner the second time who is going to set your bail. Went ahead and did that. They had me in this cold ass fucking room waiting for the commissioner for a couple minutes. So cold that when I went back to the cold ass cell, that it felt like summer. Cool. So they switch out one tweaker because she's going upstairs. So this, when you're going upstairs, you get a blanket. I wish they hadn't figured out I was going upstairs so early because I would have got a blanket earlier and then I would have just like kept my fucking blanket. But they don't give you a blanket or nothing unless you're going upstairs. So they takes one of the tweakers out, replace her with another tweaker, and this tweaker is different. She's like an old tweaker, so she's like growling in her sleep, and oh my god, was that my stomach? She was growling in her sleep, and she was like doing just the most like jittery little stuff or whatever. But in her case, she was she was tired. She was waiting to get transferred to another jail, getting extradited, whatever the fuck, getting taken from the city to the county. So her situation was a little bit different. She was just like, look, y'all, when am I getting this? And so me and the other first timer and the one who clearly wasn't a first timer was in there. So I'm learning. Someone comes in there. I'm learning that, sometimes it's a process. Sometimes you will see the commissioner in these shifts. So within an 8-hour shift, you will see the commissioner, right? I'm supposed to see the commissioner, the next commissioner, sometime between the 12 and 8 shift, 12 a.m. to 8. Or 8 to 4. And then somebody else came in there and said you might see him at 4 to 12. So I'm still up there still like, bitch, I've been in jail since Friday morning. Like, when am I going home? Like, I got things to do. That was really my mindset. Like, it didn't register to me whether it was the weekend or not. Like, I just was like, well, when are y'all doing this? And how long I'm going to have to stand here? So, anyway, they bring someone else in. And so she's a talker. If you see this, boo, what's up? But so we get to talking and everybody starts talking about why they're there. So me, her, and the other first timer, because she's the first timer too. She talking about why she's there. Funniest part about it is y'all don't know, little love connections be happening in the jail. They bring the boys sometime to clean the girls' cell. That's all I'm gonna say. And little love connections be happening. That was the funniest shit that happened, along with the growling junkie. But I went ahead and eventually got to see the second commissioner. The second commissioner, you sit and you like kind of talk to them for a second, then they bring your lawyer in, if you ask for a lawyer, and they go over everything with you. And that lawyer was able to see through the bullshit. Was like, man, let her out on her own recall, whatever the fuck how you said or whatever. They gave me a $5,000 fucking bond or some shit like that, and I have to like check in every day till I go to court, like just the wildest shit, and all this stay away stuff. And I'm like, y'all get what a stay away order did in this particular instance. Like, this bitch want my nigga, and my nigga don't want her no more, and he home. Even if the fuck they is still, so like he's home. Like at the end of the day, like you doing all this extra stuff, and it's like for what? So I'm just exhausted by this whole situation. So, long story short, I see the commissioner. She lets me out. But the way it works is like you get taken from the commissioner to what's like pretrial release. And they go over this information with you like, bitch, you better come to court or I'm going to lock you up. Once they say that, then they send you somewhere else and you eventually get sent home. Now, if you got a phone and everything, mind you, I ain't no phone, no money, no cash, no nothing. And I'm still wearing this cute little dress and my little sweater. So I sat there, and once they let you out, there's a phone and you can call someone. And I was like, yeah. I went to call, and once they said asked me for my name, I was like, I'm gonna have to back home. Now, I ain't finna say my location, but I live within walking distance of the jail, which is kind of wild when I think about it. But not really. Like, it did take me a while to walk home. It starts raining halfway through. I gotta pass this bitch house on the fucking way home. Like, it was just a whole fucking experience. And then, of course, I come home and I wild him out just the fuck because. Because I'm like, how the fuck you ain't know it? This bitch ain't say she took out a fucking warrant on me? Like, yeah. Anyway, so apparently I'm supposed to like stay away from her. But the whole thing is, when you tell somebody to stay away from somebody and they live in your neighborhood, more particularly like you would get in trouble for contacting them or coming across them, they just call up and get you in trouble. Like, I feel like that's the setup for real. Like, I feel set up. I feel like I should just sit in the house, but even sitting in the house, I'm not safe. I feel like this bitch could just call up on me. Like, I don't know. Somebody hit me in the comments. Like, does this make sense to you that, like, if you did something to somebody, they can just, like, call up? But in this particular instance where it's like, oh, you were saying my nigga, then my nigga back home. Like, I feel like it's a case-by-case situation. Somebody ain't looking at something right. It don't make sense to me. Now, I'm going to jump back into the whole, like, my husband cheated thing. So, my husband cheated, supposedly did not sleep with this woman. Now, he didn't just cheat, but he apparently probably was pillow talking with this bitch quite a lot when it came to me. Now, I know who I am. I know what I am. So, this bitch ain't competition to me, so it's nothing. You know my little business, baby. That's what's up. You know that nigga was boo loving. If he was the type, even if I sent him back down the street to you, you gonna get your karma, and as will he, still in this house. So, you know, it is what it is. But as you can imagine, we've been having issues because he's in the space where he should and wants to and says he will be extending me grace for when I have my moments of, like, you know, asking a question about the shit and all that other stuff, and then he'll go back quickly and try to have something to say about it. And you know, I'm trying to figure out now, like, if it's, I've never dealt with this. I've never dealt with infidelity, and I've never dealt with it in the capacity that this all took place. So I'm really trying to analyze if I can get past this. Like, it's so easy to be like, oh, you got years with somebody, and y'all got kids together. Being frank, I remember, couple days in or a couple weeks in, I asked him, like, he was like, originally I asked him, like, you originally came back only for the kids? He was like, yeah, motherfucker, truth be told, I'm probably only here for the kids too. Fuck, you think I would have been here all these years from whatever the fuck I had to deal with if we ain't had kids involved? The fuck would have been the incentive to stay? But that's neither here nor there, you know, because I know how it is outside as well, and I ain't really too enthused to be back outside. But what's interesting is that I did pull somebody's number. I think while I was on the phone with him at that. And, you know, his reaction and all this other stuff where, you know, who this nigga, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yo, that shit crazy. Like, you would do what you do and think you still have the right to question me about someone that I was potentially going to go ahead and let him smash the fuck. And then the whole, like, oh, you know, I wouldn't feel bad if you got your get back. You didn't fuck her. So get back to me in the sense where you emotionally cheated, in the worst sense where you was like lying to me about where you was at to go be with her, and, you know, could have want to spend time with your kids, shit like that. Like, all of that. Like, the only thing I could do to get you back is let you taste another nigga dick while you eat my pussy. I really don't see anything else, because you disrespected me. I would have to disrespect you in the utmost fucking filthy fucking way. Or cut off all contact and you never ever see my face again. That simple. But again, I'm not that cruel of a person. At least I don't think I am. So, as of right now, I have not gotten my lick back. As of right now, I don't plan to get my lick back. I intend for the universe to do that for me. But I very much do still have to deal with this charge shit. But I don't know. Yeah. So that's my story. How I wound up locked up.
She had me in the first half. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been skeptical the whole time, but I was gonna keep it to myself because sometimes I know I get ahead of myself. But I knew from the beginning that she's the problem. And I still feel like, and I'm talking about the storyteller, that she's the problem. So you telling me that you chose to have sexual relationships with another man just because he flirted and had conversations with another woman?
She said that's what she's thinking about doing. But I feel like even if you were thinking about doing it or just hoping for their downfall later on down the road, why even still be with them? That's like being with the enemy.
Another thing, I want to make another valid point. Maybe y'all see it as valid, maybe y'all don't see it as valid. Your husband cheated. You beat the woman he cheat ass. He didn't even physically have a relationship with the woman, but you physically attacked her. Not him. He's back home.
Oh no, she said she beat him up too. But
He's back home. He's safe. He's good. Everything's back like it used to be. She's winning, right?
that's what I really don't get.
That don't make sense.
She's acting like she don't know why she went to jail, but it's like you're mad at this woman for thinking that you're his ex-wife and that she is now dating your man. She sounds, the other woman is the victim. She has no clue on what's going on. The only one who knows what's really going on is your husband. And he's the one sleeping beside you right now while you're beating some other girl up. This girl is scared for her life.
And they gonna ask us, do you think it's right that she has a restraining order against me
Not to mention
in this type of situation?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then you gotta think from the other girl's standpoint, like you say y'all live close by to each other, so she has to see you on a regular and this is the energy she gets when she sees you. She is obviously scared.
Listen, I'm not justifying him for cheating. It's clearly more to the story. Is that even considered cheating, Messy Family? Him having, okay, he's flirting with another woman. Emotionally cheating. Is that cheating? Let's be for real. For a guy, is that cheating? I think more if it was physical, yes. But if it's just, okay, if a man's interested in a woman, I can see like, you're threatened by that. I can see why she would be threatened by that. But is that cheating? Is that about to ruin my relationship, ruin my life type of moment? Don't get me wrong, I like the creator. I think she's very charismatic. She's funny. I like the way she tells stories. This story right here, she's dead wrong, bro. She's in the wrong. Yeah. This last clip is just her addressing the comments. Now, a lot of people had some questions to ask. They had some questions for her, and it wasn't the greatest. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody's kind of figure out more to the story. Everybody feels like maybe she's leaving some stuff out. In this video, she's pretty much addressing the commenters. So if you guys want to stick around for this part, check this out and let's maybe get a little bit more detail of what the hell really happened.
I had time today. This is what I'm going to call maybe like a little follow-up to my last video. My husband cheated on me and I went to jail for it. So there was some comments that I felt like people got all a little, hot in their chest and bothered about the situation and felt the need to like say something like they was going to bother me. Okay, so in addition to me being from Baltimore and I have the mouth, I guess, like I self-proclaimed, I also can take it. I would love to know why y'all would think that shit would bother me. But I did want to answer some questions, or not necessarily answer some questions, but address some points. I used to call my husband out his name when we were arguing. Things we would argue about. Someone mentioned the whole smoking thing. I smoke cigarettes. Now, I have smoked cigarettes for the last 2.5 months. Prior to this, I stopped for 8 years, and we were both supposed to stop. I have a 3-year-old. He was supposed to stop back then. I stopped years ago. We were supposed to stop together a long time ago. For whatever reason, he does not think it's that important, and it has become an issue mainly because he has health issues. Like most people, it's a factor. So let's make that clear. In addition to, I would love for y'all to maybe take a moment to consider if I have a slick mouth, maybe he does as well. The difference is that while he may not have resulted to name calling, or then when he did call me on my name at times. while that wasn't his go-to, like, oh, fuck you, bitch, this or whatever, and I was more of a fuck you, nigga, fuck you, you acting weak, you acting childish. These are the things that I was name calling him, such as when I would ask for assistance when it came to things with our children to be more involved. I am a very hands-on, get shit done type of person, and I really don't, or I grew up and woke up to realize I don't like when people reap the benefit without lending a hand after a while, especially when you are in the position where you are supposed to, i.e. you a fucking husband. There's some things that I hold true. If you are a man, be a man of your word. If you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, I will hold that against you, mainly because you said you was going to do it. Again, that would be things that we be getting into an argument about that would result in him doing or saying what he would say, that would result in me calling him out his name. So, he, like some people, I'm not going to call him a narcissist, but he has narcissistic tendencies that time, self-proclaimed. A lot of this stuff we already went through. I wouldn't have told this story if there was any level of shame or embarrassment. Let it be known, okay? So when it boiled down to it, these are things that we discussed. I'm not I wasn't going to tell my perspective of how he was based on what we discussed and how I feel about him, because it was supposed to be from my perspective. I own. So anybody all trying to say all that, oh, take accountability shit, oh baby, I took accountability from Jump Street. The fact of the matter is, regardless of whether or not I reacted, he created this situation by bringing another woman into our relationship and cheating in the way he is. In the manner that he did, this is not new to him. He has threatened to walk out on our family before over very minute arguments and things like that. So this was not like some shit that just came out my ass, or for that matter his, because it took planning to cheat. And it took years to build up. And ain't like I called him out his name for nothing. And, these are things that we had to address. Now, and being on some grown woman shit, for the people who like, oh, leave, you pretty, this, that, and the third. I had mentioned before that I'm a stay-at-home mom at this moment. I did mention that I don't work, and the reason why I don't work or stop working is because we agreed for me to stop working to go to school, which I just obtained the certification. I'm still in some coursework. So with that being said, there was a lot. When you're an adult, which some people don't understand, when you're an adult, you're in a relationship with someone, let alone you're married, you have children, it is not easy to just get up and walk away. It is, unfortunately, a bit difficult when you have created and added so many layers to your situationship, being honest, because all this shit is situational. Now, with that being said, I wanted to offer some advice to some people, particularly the people in the comments. There are reasons why people decide to stay together, and I don't think that the same people who are on Beyonce's internet in my comments, something about, oh, you this, you that, I don't feel like you probably was somewhere saying the same thing about these celebrities. You probably, still jam off to a whole bunch of them, the ones that's been on fuck shit as well. So just be mindful of the judgment that you pass. You come across people like me who genuinely don't give a fuck. And, honestly, like, you like toilet entertainment for real. When I sit and I take a shit, that's when I respond to little fuck shit. And then the people who like, you did stay in the third, I honestly, like I said, I open to all criticism. But at the end of the day, I think that realistically, a lot of the people who are speaking on certain situations, and not just my situation, I mean in general, like, no one knows what they would do until they're in a situation. I took complete accountability for my childish ways of regarding somebody doing some disrespectful shit to me. I did not need to stoop to their level. Karma will have their motherfucking time with them. I just hope I'm not around when it goes down. At the end of the day, there's a lot to be said from all ends. But ultimately, just keep in mind, like, when someone tells you a story, some people like me particularly, I made it a point not to like really pass too much judgment on what it was that my husband was or wasn't doing. I just highlighted the fact that he cheated. And the main reason I like to mention another point, unnecessarily so, that I felt so comfortable putting my story out there was because like a lot of women know, and because I'm intuitive and I know how to make a motherfucker tell on themselves, it came to my attention that he pillow fucking talk with this bitch and quite possibly told her like elements of me. And for that, I feel like, fuck, I'm already open this bitch. You know, bitches don't learn shit. They run their fucking mouth to other fucking people and shit. So I'm already aired out shit because this nigga had an airhead fucking moment. At the end of the day, he is still taking care of his family. And like I mentioned in my last video, it is still, for me personally, and with his understanding, it's a work in progress as far as like where and how this will all pan out. But for the most part, I will say this. I did tell my story as a cautionary tale because it really didn't make sense for me to react in the way I did. Talking to him now, he claimed, you know, whether he fucked her or not, whether or not it came to that, that he would eventually probably came to his senses and came home. Whether or not I would have been willing to let him is another thing. If we ain't had kids, this definitely wouldn't went this fucking far, baby. Let me tell you, I don't know if you seen my last post, but if and when I wanted to be diabolical, I absolutely could. If there were no children involved who wouldn't have been more affected as they already have been by, you know, how close in proximity certain things took place, then I probably would have. But yeah, because I'm the type that I don't need no lick back. I'll just disappear. You'll never see me again. But again, with that being said, I think that, and let me know in the comments what y'all think. I think that a lot of times when we come across these people's story times and they decide to divulge a certain part of them, it's a lot of people that like take it as a moment to like throw a cheap shot at somebody because they like whatever the fuck they got going on. And baby, all I'm saying is like, that's not where it's at. Like, you know, a lot of people find comfort and all that other stuff in social media, but at the same time, we know we show what we sign up for when we tell our business or whatever. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to let y'all know, like, yeah, you're total entertainment. If you got something slick to say, I really don't be bothered. Like, whatever I deem to be like the worst thing I could imagine in this moment that could have happened to me already happened to me. So there ain't no fucking strangers on the internet finna bother me, okay?
Well, she addressed that what she did was childish in a sense. I guess she's taking accountability.
You better keep an eye on her. You better keep
My
one
thing is,
eye open on her.
She's really bold for telling this story just because she lives with him and that he's taking care of her family.
I think I would have made the story time if I'm still in a situation with somebody, because that's what kind of makes it feel like, is it real? Is it true? Is this serious talk?
I
because
think
you still living with this man and you just talking down on him while you're with him?
that just shows
He even said it himself. He said that if it would have got to the point that he would have cheated, he would have not. He would have never got to that point. He would have just came home.
He said he would have eventually came to his senses.
Right. So but you got to take his word for it, because all them years they spent together, he hasn't stepped out one time. This time he came closest to it. Maybe he would have came to his senses.
I see both sides though. I can see a man working hard all day and then he's coming home to someone that's complaining that he's not doing enough. And I feel like that's a lot of people's reality. Right. And then you got a woman that's like, oh, I take care of all the house needs, which is working. It's a big thing to run a house. We need each other to make this work. And if everybody's feeling like they get in the big head, I can do this without you, or I can do this without you. The reality of it is you can't do it without each other. Not run this household how it is, how she's saying she's running it. You can't do it without that engine. And that's why she's sticking around. But it's like, if you're gonna stick around for this, and she's saying reap the benefits, she's reaping the benefits too. You get to be home with your children, take care of the things that need to be taken care of, and he gets to work all day knowing that his children are being taken care of because he's allowing you, in a sense, to be home to do these things. But I see both parts. And like I said, if both people get big heads, then it's not gonna work. You need each other to make that work.
At the end of the day, they just need to go to marriage counseling. They need to get some counseling involved. She needs to check herself in a lot of ways. He needs to, I don't know anything about him. She didn't say much. The thing is, when you tell story times, if you're going to tell a story about somebody, give us more about the person. Give us some character about him so we can understand why you react the way you react. She's saying things she didn't say. Well, people reacting based off what you said. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you gave us, the information you gave us, is not making you look too good. It's making you look like the villain. He cheated because of a villain. It's not because you was doing everything right and loving on him, providing, doing your part, you know what I'm saying, to the fullest, which I'm not saying she wasn't, but it's like you didn't paint it that way. You made it seem like every time you had an issue with him, you was talking crazy to him and you trying to make it as it's a Baltimore thing. Oh, it's because I'm from Baltimore. This how we talk to our men. Oh, that's just you probably. I'm not saying that what he did was right, but I could definitely I understand the why. People act like there's no reason for somebody to ever get to that point. Yes, it is to that point. You wonder why people cheat. This is why they cheat. Like, feel suffocated. That's why I say he needs to keep his eye on her, because she's definitely a get back type of person. I don't care what she said. She comes off as I'ma get my lick back. You heard what she said.
We definitely get how she was like, knows how they will react to each other in this situation. And you have children, yeah, it has that different layers of why you shouldn't leave somebody. But if this is the mindset behind it, it's really for the kids, that energy y'all bring in.
She allowed another woman to step in and be the person that she should have been. Mm-hmm. Just a voice. You got jealous because another woman came in and was a voice, an ear to your man. I remember we was having a conversation about that in another story time. I was telling you, like, people in relationships, the reason why they be acting out the way they do when you get a compliment and stuff is because they know they're lacking. So of course he's venting to her, he's opening up to her. It's something he can't do to you, with you, because you're too aggressive. You can strike a conversation with him, a meaningful conversation with him, that will mean more to somebody who's a chatty patty. Instead of judging it, find a way to get involved in that. Because keeping judging it, some woman gonna love that about him. She gonna sit there and just enjoy that. You know, yeah.
People grow apart. And maybe the reasons why they got married and fell for each other in the beginning, that's not who they are today.
But what do you guys think, Messy Family? Let us know in the comment section. We'll see you guys in the next story time. Peace.